The Mike Show presents Test Drive Interviews. Brought to you by Billy Craft Honda, Old Forest Road in Lynchburg. And it's Test Drive Interviews. It's Mike. We've got Jesse hanging with us. And today we're interviewing Tabitha Abbott. She is the Director of Operations, to my heart. No. Director of Operations of the Academy Center of the Arts. Also, my significant other. Hi.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm great.
Great.
Thanks for having me. Are we driving?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
How do you drive this thing?
So I have no idea what's happening. There are a lot of buttons.
All
that
right.
one just turned green, so that looks positive.
Right.
It does not feel like it's on, so that scares me like a lot. But it is, so this is great.
So this is a hybrid?
Yes, it's a hybrid.
Yeah, it barely feels like it's on. I don't even hear anything.
So tell us, you were born and raised here in Lynchburg.
I absolutely was. Yep. I am turning 40 this year, so that is extremely evident of being born and raised in Lynchburg. It's hurtful this year, actually.
Tell us about the changes that you've seen, not just in Lynchburg in general, but in downtown specifically.
I try not to wreck this vehicle, so sorry guys. I started working at Amusement Square, I think in like 2003-ish. So downtown at that time didn't have like sidewalks going up the street, like they weren't paved. There was no real infrastructure. There weren't bus stops, trash cans. The whole deal that you see now is completely different. We could look up Ninth Street and it just looked desolate. So I started my real career, I think, really started with Amusement Square. I started there as a volunteer director, and I became the museum shop manager, and then I became the operations director, and started doing special events with them. And I was there for 9 years, so I kind of moved my way up to the vice president for operations before I moved on. And I also helped start the skate park that was downtown as well. So, like I said, when I first started, Depot Grill was the only restaurant. My God, we have a bajillion restaurants to choose from now. However, that was like our cafeteria. We ate there on the daily. So yeah, it's really exciting. And I am extremely impressed by what has gone on with the Bluff Walk and just, everything that's happening in downtown. I love downtown. I used to live in downtown when I was right out of high school. I live in downtown now. We live in downtown now. Yeah. I work downtown, so this is kind of where I live, work, and play. It's pretty great.
So out of, you left Amazement Square, did a couple other things, went to work for United Way of Central Virginia. Tell us about some of the events that you did, specifically in downtown.
Yeah. So when I started at Amazement Square, we had the Ugly Bug Ball. I did not start that, but I was in probably the second or third year that they had done it, and I kind of helped developing that event. That's now one of the biggest fundraisers that happens for Amazement Square. So I did that, and then when I started doing events for United Way, we did all sorts of things that were, we did our bowl-a-thon, Day of Caring, all those things. They really weren't downtown-centric, but I did large-scale events there as well. That definitely benefited the community. United Way works with so many different partner agencies in need, so it was a really rewarding position to do events for. And then I planned to get downtown. I did get downtown for 4 years with a year break in between the four, if that makes sense. I think I did 2014, 15, and then 17 and 18. So, and that's a massive undertaking. I used to do that when it was Lynch's Landing, and then now Downtown Lynchburg Association. I was contracted to do that event, and so that's something I'm super proud of. That's 8 blocks of action. And this last year, which was my last year doing it, we actually ended at the Academy, which is now my position, and I'm the Director of Operations there. And there we do events every day, pretty much. We have concerts and theatrical productions and fundraisers and just stuff literally every day. I also run the rentals for the Academy. So I make sure that other organizations that want to host events with us are able to, and that their needs are fulfilled when they use the Academy as well.
This is a 2019 Honda Insight EX. It was just redesigned and came out for 2019. It's a hybrid. It gets around 55 miles to the gallon around the city, and then 42 on the highway. So it's a great vehicle. It's a little bit bigger than a Civic and a little bit smaller than an Accord. Lots of room in the back and seats 5. This is an EX model, so it has the Apple CarPlay in it as well, and it has the push button to start.
Well, Tab, you're actually going to take us inside the Academy Center's historic theater and give us a sneak peek and behind the scenes.
Yeah, so we are, as a staff, we're hosting these things called happy hour tours now on, I think, the 3rd Tuesday of each month. We just did one, and we have another one on March 26th. And so I'm trying to learn all the historical facts. Dory Smiley, who grew up in that thing, can go and verbatim talk about its history and all these great things. And so I've been watching her give tours. We have a little punch list now that we use to try to give tours. So I will do my best to tell you about the history of that place. But it is a pretty exciting place.
She's my significant other. Don't run away. Don't run away from my feelings.
So we are standing on stage right now in the middle of the theater. It is First Fridays here at the Academy, so we have a lot of action next door in our gallery, and we are going to be giving a tour, which we do at 6 o'clock on First Fridays when we don't have a performance in the theater. But we are an 835 seat theater when our pit seats are in, which we are standing right now on our pit. This is a hydraulic pit that we are standing on, so it's sort of like a big elevator. Right now, obviously, it is completing the size of our stage. And if you look out into the seats, you will see these beautiful red velvet seats that we have had installed to be a replica of what this theater looked like in 1912. So the theater was built in 1905. It caught fire in 1911 because there was a facilities manager who was actually living in the upper level, and it caught fire. And so he obviously, hopefully, was fired after that, but they rebuilt the theater in 1912, and it lived on through 1958. 1931 is when it actually closed down because it was a movie house. And it was one of 9 theaters at the time in downtown Lynchburg. So movies were sort of, everybody was doing them, and it sort of fizzled out for financial reasons. So what you see in this theater is all restoration. Everything has been restored as much as possible to the look of the 1912 theater. The whole project to actually have renovated was a $30 million project. Fly Tower was $4 million of that. And that capital campaign really kicked off in 2013, and as you can see, it completed in 2018. So it took a lot of sponsors, a lot of investors, a lot of people who wanted to see this beautiful relic stay in downtown. So we're standing in the new lobby edition of the Academy Historic Theater. This space has to look completely different from the actual historic theater because of the tax credits that we get to make this project possible. So it is complete with all the amenities that you would need to come see a show. We have a great concession area. We have a satellite concession area upstairs. We do a full bar for most of our performances, but you can get soda, popcorn, nachos, whatever you'd like before you take that actually into the theater. We also have this special little sippy cup that you buy, and you take that in so that we have no spillage on those beautiful red velvet seats that you have. We have glorious women's bathrooms facilities and men's bathroom facilities. Everything is completely modern. It's up to date. We have really great technology in here.
We want to thank Tabitha Abbott for joining us on this edition of Test Drive Interviews. We want to thank Jesse for showing us such an incredible vehicle from Billy Craft Honda. Also want to encourage everybody to stop on out to Billy Craft Honda on Old Forest Road in Lynchburg. Right now they're clearing out inventory to make room for their move over to the new location on Lakeside Drive, so check them out. It's Test Drive Interviews. You can check us out, The Mike Show VA, on Facebook, also on our YouTube channel. Check out the show Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 on 93.7 KHF. For Test Drive Interviews, it's Mike. Thanks for joining us.